Well, I guess what I want to do right now is not an entry per se, but in fact introduction. And even though timeline-wise, this would be the most recent entry, it is the one that I think should be viewed first, because it's the one that I'm going to explain my idea, I think, most completely here. I'm just back from the SOIA conference, and I will make an entry, an electronic journal, video journal entry, based specifically on that. I'm just really too tired to spend that time tonight. There's a lot that needs to be said. It was a fantastic experience. What I want to do right now is sort of an introduction to what I'm doing here, and I'm going to call it a video journal right now, but it will be a video blog. I'm looking for a suitable place to post these videos where I can restrict the viewership somewhat. I mean, some of the material that I'm going to talk about, or have talked about, is very specific to EdSci 302 and wouldn't make much sense to anybody else. So that's the main thing. The reason I wanted to do it video ways is I already do an electronic journal just typing, and I don't do a lot of writing anymore. I type faster, and I kind of get all of the things that are going on in my life down on that way. I wanted to experiment with a new medium, and I haven't really done much of that yet. So one thing that I think will be noticed is that these first few entries are fairly basic. There's not much going on in them, and that's okay, because it's a learning process for me, and I think that's an important part of this class. It's learning. Isn't that what we're going to school for anyways, right? And so there's a learning process for me going on here. I want them to get more and more sophisticated as I go, but primarily I want to do a video because I think I like to just sort of sit and talk out loud some of my thoughts, even just to myself. It helps me I don't know, sort of understand some of the things I'm thinking a little bit better, and I think I almost think more clearly if I'm talking my thoughts than if I'm just, thinking my thoughts in my head. And I don't know if I should admit this in case you think I'm insane or something, but even when I journal with a pen or just typing, I do tend to talk to myself a little bit, and I think it's just a way that I get some of the thoughts in my head sort of sorted out is by vocalizing them. And so I wanted to use a medium that was like that. The video, I mean, a person could do that with a typical podcast type idea where they just record voice, but personally, I prefer being able to see, even if it's just a person sitting in a chair talking. I prefer being able to see them, and I'm hoping this won't always be that, but it is what it is now. And I still prefer that personally over I guess just listening to somebody. And I think the other thing is that just because there is video doesn't mean a person has to listen to it. And you can have the video on in the background. You can even minimize the video part and just listen to the audio, and it works just fine that way. At least most of the entries will. And so that's why I decided to do it this way. This is the reason that I decided to work in terms of what is now just a video journal, but which will be a video blog, and that I will probably try and post the videos at some point. I'm hoping that there will be some interesting information in there in terms of my feelings on environmental education and stuff like that, which are becoming more and more clear as I learn more and more about it. So that's the idea. Certainly I wouldn't necessarily expect you to want to watch every one. Some of them are pretty slow, and it's just me talking about some of the things I do, but I hope I make some interesting breakthroughs in my own journey, and it may not have happened yet per se, but I hope it will, and hopefully that fulfills sort of the criteria of what this journaling exercise is about. So, till next time.